Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed the ceremony. I'm sorry I'm not able to join you at the gorgeous Carlsbad and Bissau venue, but it looks like beautiful weather. Hope it was fantastic. Um, I'm talking to you from my home in Colorado, where we have our brand new beautiful baby, Evelyn, to take care of. Evelyn says congratulations, Troy and Tammy, and gives a fist bump to River. Um, I feel honored to be able to talk about Troy and Tammy at this wedding, even though I'm not there. Troy's been an important part of my life for a long, long time now, and at my wedding as well. He's the one that tied my tie, taught me the half Windsor knot for my wedding. I'm not wearing a tie right now, as an aside, partly because I'm wearing this hoodie that I stole from Troy about 9 years ago. I thought that was going to be more appropriate. But Troy's really family for us. Troy takes part in our family photos at the wineries. He is referred to as the other son by my mother. And in fact, my mother and sister and stepfather are with you today at Troy's wedding and not in Colorado with their brand new granddaughter and niece. If that shows you where Troy ranks in the family. But I've known Troy since 1989, when we were on the same Parks and Rec soccer team, the blue team. We tore up the field then. We later tore up the basketball court on the Eau Claire's premier youth traveling basketball team, the Flyers. But it wasn't really until high school where we really started our pattern of shenanigans and troublemaking. And one thing about when Troy and I get together is that there always seems to be some sort of disaster that we get ourselves into. But the defining characteristic I really feel like is that Troy really pulls through. Troy finds a way to save us from these situations no matter what they are. And that's something that is hard to replicate. No one else does it. And one example might be when we were 16 and 17, we went to see Dave Matthews Band at Alpine Valley, and on our way back home, I was driving Troy's car and got completely lost and it was in the middle of Milwaukee in a bad part of town. We kept driving in circles. Everyone was freaking out. Troy stepped up and said, "Hey guys, I know it's embarrassing, but let's stop. Let's call my Aunt Sue at 3 in the morning and have her give us directions to how to get home." So we did that. It hurt our egos, but Troy was the bigger man for saying, "Let's do that." In another example, when we took a canoe trip in the Boundary Waters, after getting back after close to 2 weeks, Troy's car wouldn't start when we got there. And the only thing we had was basically a yard of beef to sustain us, and there was no one else around. We thought we might be there for a while, but Troy took the initiative, went out, tried to find someone. We were able to hitchhike with a guy about an hour into town to get a tow truck to come rescue us and get Troy's car taken back. Again, Troy taking the initiative to save us from the situation. In another example, in high school, after a blizzard, we were in my car whipping donuts in the Fairfax pool parking lot when a curb came out of nowhere and my car got stuck. And Troy had the presence of mind to say, before we called the tow truck, to say, "Jordan, there's an empty case of Liney's O in your trunk. Let's get rid of it before anyone else comes." So we did that. And then sure enough, the tow truck came to come get us out, and that tow truck got stuck itself. So they had to call another tow truck to come get the first tow truck out and then get us out. And of course the police came along with that second tow truck and searched my car and everything, but we were safe because of Troy. And then in another example, in college on Thanksgiving Eve one year, we after hanging out at the joint, we went to our friend Aaron Tessendorf's house to play some ping pong. And somehow, in his garage, we were playing ping pong. Some things got destroyed, and including Troy's hand. And he broke his hand, and so we had to make an emergency room visit at 3 or 4 in the morning. And Troy was really an adult throughout that entire process, as opposed to our other friends who were racing wheelchairs down the hospital hallways, or trying to sneak him some nudie magazines, or doing other things that we won't talk about here. Whereas Troy was really, stoic, and really manned up and really owned it, including ruining Thanksgiving the next day by showing up with a broken hand at Thanksgiving dinner. Sorry about that, Donna. But I really think in all the times that Troy and I hang out, we always get in a little bit of trouble, and it's always Troy that really comes to the rescue, and I think it's really telling about Troy and who he is. And one thing that is great about Troy is that it's always good when he's on your side. And Tammy, congratulations, because Troy is now on your side, pulling through for you always. And so that's something that I think is quite special. And Tammy, I love Tammy. I think one of the most strong impressions I first had of Tammy was when Troy and I first got back from Thailand, and she picked us up from the airport, and we were jet lagged, tired, hungry, hadn't had any Western food in a while, and Tammy shows up, big smile on her face, and snacks, sandwiches, chips, crackers, pretzels, cheese, candy, chocolate, you name it. It was absolutely amazing. It was one of the best things she could have done, and it warmed my heart. Of course, Tammy, has proven to be much greater of a person and a foil for Troy since then, including for Troy's 30th birthday party, she organized a surprise birthday party where everyone was going to surprise Troy in Chicago. Bundo was there, and everyone surprised Troy at the 92nd floor of the John Hancock Tower, and it was a great thing that she organized. And also, it was meant to be a romantic getaway for Troy and Tammy, and it was meant to be that way, except I didn't have a place to stay, and so I ended up pulling up a cot in their fancy room in the Drake as part of their romantic getaway weekend. So Tammy was on board with that, which was great, and so thank you, Tammy, for that. In addition, when I come to San Diego, I like to not really tell them that I'm coming until I'm there, and I'll send a cryptic text letting them know that I'm there and they should hang out with me. And Tammy puts up with that. In addition to Tammy being able to do an amazing cheer routine with the glow-in-the-dark bocce balls, or rock an awesome jumpsuit, I think the thing that I love most about Tammy is the fact that she brings out this special piece of Troy that no one else really can. And whereas when I hang out with Troy, we get in the worst of situations. We get in trouble, and it's bad news. When Tammy is with Troy, they really get into the best of situations. And I think that's telling about Tammy, and it's telling about who she is as a person and what she does to Troy. And I think the two great examples of that would be first Olympia Chaturanga, the lovely sweetheart dog, and then most obviously you have Miss River Louise. The beauty that these two can create together is pretty fantastic, and I think everyone is in awe about how wonderful these two are together. And Troy, I really appreciate having you as a friend for such a long time. We've been through so much together, done so much together, gotten so much trouble together, and we're still around and kicking. And I think that's great. And when I see you with Tammy, I know there's something special going on, something that's lasting forever, and something that's producing greatness. So thank you, Tammy, for being able to provide that and produce that in Troy. You guys are wonderful. I wish you all the very best. I wish I was there, but instead we'll raise a toast to you, and here's to you, your future, and the future of your lives together. Thank you.